Hello there. You might notice something different when you look at this video compared to my usual videos. I was actually going to set up this completely differently with like a green screen and better lighting, but I'm broke, so this will have to do. Let me know if you like this type of content more than when I sit down in a chair. You can also sit down in a chair here. I mean, the best of both worlds, except for the fact that I'm like at the bottom 20% of the video, but you know, it is what it is. Quick 15-second PSA. I'm here to ask you, the viewer, for a like, a subscribe, anything. Thank you very much for already clicking on the video. It really helps me as a smaller channel to stand out and have the algorithm push me out my videos. So thank you very much for watching so far, and I hope you enjoyed. If you do, subscribe to the channel, leave the video a like, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Back to the video. Red Dead Redemption, Dark Souls, BioShock, The Last of Us. What do these games have in common? They're good games, you might say. Well, I mean, yeah, sure, that's the case. But as you read by the title, that's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about remasters, of course. These games and many others have been remastered, and I wanted to see a bit more into, are they actually worth your money? The game that really sparked this conversation in my head, because I only talk to myself, was a game called Red Dead Redemption. As the game's been out for, what was it, 14 years before it was actually released, maybe even longer. Let me check it out. Yeah, 14 years. It was released in 2010, and recently it came out for PC, a remastered version, which actually doesn't look all too different from the original version, for a solid $50. What's even more pressing of an issue is that Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Steam sale right now is $20, while Red Dead Redemption 1, which came out 14 years ago, is $50, or $40 now that it's Steam sale. So let's talk about, is it worth your time and money? Short story, no. All right, that's the video. It's a wrap. That's not the end of the video, silly. You thought I was gonna stop talking. You still here for another, what, 10 minutes? I don't know how long I got. I'm doing this all improv. All jokes aside, there's a lot of remasters out there, and a lot of those remasters, in my opinion, are not worth your money. I wouldn't advocate for spending money on a game that's already out, which is better graphics, and he's right behind me, isn't he? Yeah, I make bad financial decisions. You might be wondering, why are there so many remasters out there? Well, there's a very, very simple answer to that. Money. Money is literally the only reason why a game gets a remaster in the first place. You think a company actually gives a fuck about you? You think that Sony or FromSoft might actually give a shit or two about you, but you might think that Sony or Rockstar, any of those fuckers actually give two shits about you. They give two shits about one thing. They care about one thing, and that's this right here, this wallet. You give them $50, they'll just ask you, right, which game you love so much since you've been playing it for your childhood, and they'll give it right there, fresh coat of paint. How about you give us $50, you ass? Sorry for the cursing. They don't care. Nobody really cares. These companies, they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They just care about getting money, which means that the safe bet is to release a game like Red Dead Redemption 14 years on a platform you never released it on, because you know you'll get money out of it. Hell, why do you think that both The Last of Us 1 and The Last of Us 2 were released with a remaster, what, a year or two after its original release? That was just because it got on a new console, and if you had it on the old console, you might have thought, I don't need to buy the game a second time. When you give us $50 more, you'll be able to play it, and it'll look just a bit better. And they know people are suckers for it. They know people will pay this money. I mean, remasters are nothing more than, like I said, a fresh coat of paint. It's pretty much just modders work. A lot of modders end up making a game look even better than what a remaster ever could. Most of the times, a lot of the bugs and glitches and whatever that was in the original also just remain in the remaster. And it's mostly, for me, the timing of a lot of these things. I, for instance, very much love BioShock. As you saw in my Steam library, I have the whole remastered collection for the first and the second game, as well as BioShock Infinite and the originals. I have the whole thing, the whole package. I would be able to say that, you know, I'm not a sucker for these things, but as I said, I make bad financial decisions, and next to that, if I like something, I'm gonna pay money for it. So I'm one of you, right? I'm a sucker for all of this shit. Wow. Look at those graphics. Look how beautiful that truly has become compared to what I'm used to from my childhood when I originally played the non-remastered version of the game. Wow, that is definitely worth so much money in my bank account. The worst part about this is that, like I said, I'm talking about remasters. I'm not talking about remakes, right? I'm not talking about a Silent Hill 2 being remade completely from the ground up. Same for instance, the Resident Evil franchise. Those are being made from the ground up. They ask you $60. They say, hey, look, you played the game when you were younger, you liked it, well, we've got it in a fresh coat of paint with new mechanics, new added elements like a gameplay or extra story or whatever. But there's a whole bunch of new stuff in it that you could play. Just give us some money and you can play a new version of the old, which means that you can still play the old and it feels like a different experience. But then you have remasters and they're just saying, hey, yeah, that game, here's again. $50. What a sale. I need you to understand me. I'm not telling you here to spend your money on anything else. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. If you want to spend $50 or $60 on a remaster of a game you've loved for years, then do that. Enjoy it. Play the game. Enjoy it. Enjoy that fresh coat of paint. But as I said, modders will do the same work for free and probably deliver a better experience. I mean, truly, if you've played the first game and you play the original, how much money is it worth? Most of the times, I'd say if you've actually played the original game, for instance, you have the original game on Steam, the original BioShock, I find it that you should either get the remaster for free or maybe for a very small price, like $5 or $10, maybe 20, but no, $50 is just too much money. Like I said, I'm not trying to tell you how to use your money, but please just don't put your money into stuff that you don't really need. Again, I am not the best person to talk about that. Do not look behind me. More often than not, I've talked about older games being better than newer games. My most famous video is about why I hate modern video games. Or modern gaming, as you would call it. And I think that companies nowadays have also realized that a lot of people really dislike what new games are being released. It's why you constantly see sequels or remakes, or in this case, remasters. It's because companies realize that, well, for a very small amount of effort, they can get a lot of money. It's the real reason Red Dead Redemption was ever released on PC in, like, whatever it was released. I mean, goddamn, 14 years? We should have gotten Red Dead 1 in Red Dead 2's engine with everything enhanced, because what the f***? $50 for a 14-year-old game that I could probably get at any local supermarket for $5, if it's even that much, is crazy. It is insane to even ask that price just because you know it's on a new platform and you know it's not available on older platforms. There's a real big reason why I don't have Red Dead on PC right now. I kind of emulated it. Illegally. For legal reasons, that's a joke, but genuinely, I have no intention of ever buying Red Dead if it's not under the price of like $15 or $20, because I don't want to spend that amount of money on a game that I know I can play for way cheaper. Red Dead Redemption was released on PC, and it barely took a week before graphical upgrades were already out there as mods. In 14 years, I at least expect a company to be able to do a better job than a modder can do in a week's time after you've actually released it on PC, right? I think that's a normal thing to ask for Rockstar, who makes billions. But as per usual, we cannot really expect much from AAA companies. Most of the time they end up just sucking, and this is no exception. They truly suck ass. I genuinely hate the fact that we have to settle for this when we know that we can get a lot better. Again, spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. I just feel like, are remasters worth your money? As I said in the short part of the video, no, they are not worth your money. I think that you should be better playing new games, remakes, because those were actually put in a lot of effort, or just play the original. Maybe download a couple of mods if you're on PC and enjoy those. Enjoy your time instead of spending $50 that you could spend on something way different, way better. Now, of course, that was it for me. I talked about what I think remasters are worth, and they're not worth the price that they are asking, but I want to know what you guys think. So let me know down in the comments below, as I said before in my 15-second PSA, what you think. Do you you think they're worth your time? Do you not really care and just want to play the games that you enjoyed when you were a kid? Let me know down in the comments below, because I would really like to know what you think. Now, I talked about these games, right? Red Dead Redemption, Dark Souls, The Last of Us, because they had in common that they all had remasters. But what they do not have in common is their genre. But there's one genre I actually made a video about because I adore it so much, and that genre is horror. Now, I made a video about that, talking about just how much I love horror, how nice horror is, and why you should play it. So go ahead and check that video out, and I'll see you there.